Welcome to Asian Tinder Stories. Two guys going on Tinder dates and talking about them. In this episode, I'm talking to Kevin once again, and we talk about a girl he met on Tinder, and they've been snapping for months, and he finally goes on a date with her.
First, I met her on Tinder.
Uh-huh.
And then she, flaked a couple times, actually.
What is
It was, maybe a few months back.
Uh-huh.
And so when we were about to meet
Few
up before,
months?
we were just kind of keeping in touch on Snapchat. She went to school somewhere in the States, I forget where. So I'd always see her snaps and comments on it, and she'd send me her tits and shit.
Welcome to episode 2 of Asian Tinder Stories, where we tell our stories about our Tinder dates. So in this episode, Kevin and I take a stroll through Vancouver, and we're walking back home through the snow, and we talk about his latest Tinder date. We enter where Kevin is talking about this girl that he met on Tinder, and they've been texting and snapping back and forth for the past few months. And apparently, she's been sending very intimate snaps of herself.
I've been asking her about, damn, okay, this girl's down to fuck, actually. I never met her before.
Yeah.
I wasn't trying to be, over horny and shit. I would screenshot.
Over horny.
Snapchat, you screenshot. No, I didn't screenshot it. I did it in a more sneaky way.
Did you have to take another phone and
I did. I fucking did that. I had two phones at a time.
2 phones.
Yeah.
So since Snapchat notifies the other person when you take a screenshot of the conversation, Kevin didn't want to screenshot the picture of the girl showing her tits. So what he did was he took another phone and took a picture of the conversation with the other phone so he could have the picture. Creative thinking, Kevin.
Dude, she had nice tits. She's an Asian girl too.
Yeah.
So I went back and forth, and I knew that she was going to be back. I knew that she was going to be back for Christmas, and I saw her snaps. And at that point, we were just talking as if we were friends already, right? It was funny because we never actually met up yet. Then she was already getting an idea of who I was, actually, just through Snapchat.
I remember that there was that other girl in Vegas, and then she added you on Snapchat to get an idea of who you were. And there's this one snap. I think that same day you were at Excess, and you're both flashing your nipples.
Yeah, I do remember
girl, both you and the girl. Okay, so let me give you some context here. So there's this one time when Kevin and I were in Vegas, and one of our friends brought a girl who was visiting from out of town to introduce Kevin because he thought that they would get along. But beforehand, they decided to add each other on Snapchat. And since Kevin and I were going out every night, we had some pretty crazy Snapchats. So there was this one night where we went out to Excess nightclub, and Kevin met this girl, and he told the girl that he had a nipple piercing, which he does. And so he convinced the girl to simultaneously flash her tits while he's flashing his. And that ended up on Snapchat. So the girl that was coming into town to meet Kevin saw this snap. And let's just say got a good first impression of Kevin.
I'm not sure if I did that intentionally or not, but that's one of the first things that she talked about. I remember the first time I met Brittany too, when Ashcon introduced me to her.
Yeah.
I acted really shy. Hi, Kevin. Nice to meet you. She just I did it intentionally. She knew I was doing it intentionally.
Yeah.
Then I kind of notched it up, right? We were just chilling at Luke's apartment actually. I'm just sitting there. But that's the beauty of Snapchat, eh?
Yeah.
You just I think the whole idea is whenever you text somebody anything, you want to put some personality out there. So Snapchat is fucking amazing.
Yeah, just quick preview into your personality immediately.
Exactly.
So a quick note about Snapchat. Oftentimes when you add girls on Snapchat and you have a pretty interesting story, and let's say you just post a regular amount, then she gets a quick preview into your life. So it's connecting with girls without having to constantly text them. So Snapchat is something that you can use to transition from an impersonal Tinder match into an actual, more intimate personal connection. But now let's go back to Kevin's story.
So back to the girl. That was Snapchat. Like, she already kind of had a sense of who I was. So when we met up, it was a little bit awkward at first, just because like she came straight to my place, and I was working all day, like literally working all day on my laptop. She came to my place. I texted her my address. I was like, yeah, just meet me here instead. And she asked me, should I knock or ring, whatever. So she got inside, and the first thing I said to her was like, oh, long time no see. I mean, it was kind of like funny and awkward because like we've never met before. And so
Except for her tits.
yeah, except for her tits. That was cool.
You're like talking to her tits. Long time no see.
Like, a long time no see. I haven't seen you. I haven't seen you guys in a while. And so, before she actually came, I texted her, hey, can you get me a green tea, by the way? So she came by with tea. It's really nice.
Yep, that's right. He said green tea. And just to quickly remind you, we are Asian.
In this little mug thing that's still at my house, actually. And we were just talking about random shit. Like, I don't know, we just clicked, actually. I was asking, I realized that I was like really awkward at first because I was too focused on what to say to impress her or try to be cool.
Yeah.
I ended up just telling her a little bit about myself and being just like interested in what she was saying. And then eventually she just got like really intrigued by what I was doing too. We already knew that it was gonna go down, but during the time we were talking, like, it was building tension a little bit. Right, so that.
What was building tension?
Her just being super interested in like what I was saying.
Oh, okay.
And me being interested in what she was saying too, because then at one point I was asking her actual sincere questions as if I was interested, and I was.
What is she trying to do with their life?
I, to be honest, forget now.
You were so interested in the moment.
I'm pretty sure it was like some sort of charity thing.
Oh, okay.
Like right now she's helping kids out who have disabilities.
Oh.
Talking about that.
Yeah.
And then she was really fascinated with the dick pill stuff.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so let me give you some context here. Yes, Kevin said dick pill. What he's been doing over the past year is selling a male enhancement pill, and he's been writing sales copy for it. And he always loves to work into his conversations just so he can see people's reactions.
Because I planted, at first I was like, yeah, I just do like marketing, do some writing. I write articles for newspapers, and then change the topic. And then she's like, wait, what? There were probably like 5 to 10 different moments like that. Like, wait, what?
Yeah, just like leading her down the line of questioning.
Exactly. And like maybe the first and second time, like I noticed like she was doing that.
Yeah.
But then I felt like I kind of intentionally did it obnoxiously,
reeling her in.
Just like the girl that I did on a date like the week before.
Yeah.
We were walking around downtown, and we saw this bookstore that I really liked. I was like, oh my god, I can't believe like we're at this bookstore. I remember one time like there was a crazy thing that happened that changed my life. Like
it sounds like a headline, like a fucking email headline.
It just changed my life, and it was like that one moment.
Yeah.
And then they changed topics. Just like, wait, what?
You talking clickbait?
I was. Here's the thing, like, whenever I'm working at home, I'm just writing ads and stuff, right? So that's all I was thinking about. I just wanted to do, like, a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
And so she still doesn't know what happened at the bookstore. And, like, she hates I don't tell her.
Yeah. So after talking about Kevin's use of cliffhangers, we further discussed the importance of ambition, and especially showing her that you're an ambitious person.
And actually, I think it's super important to be interested in what you're saying, too. Without sounding braggy or talking so like narcissistically, because then at one point she said, "Well, I can really tell you're into that." And you know how they say you want to follow people who have a vision or purpose, right? And that date, it really did show that, because I was like, you know what? I said this to her. I fully did mean it. I'm gonna make this work, like, no matter what. Like, I dropped all this stuff, no matter what. She's like, really?
Yeah.
I could tell, like, she just got really turned on after that.
So then I asked Kevin more about what she was like.
She is pretty open to a lot of ideas. Later, I found out she's, like, into orgies and shit, too.
Oh, okay.
She's quite open.
Did she see the books on your shelf? So Kevin actually has a pretty wide array of books on his bookshelf. He has a lot of business books, psychology books, but he also has a book called The Ethical Slut and another book called Opening Up, which is about the science of polyamory and maintaining multiple sexual relationships.
She didn't yet.
Oh, okay.
So I think that just really got her interested. Because then she asked me later, after we smashed, she asked me, like, yeah, are you into that? Then I answered it, but like not directly, and like she really just wanted to know, like, direct answer, like really interested, right?
Yeah. What did she ask?
She asked me, so are you like into open relationships? Are you open to that? Then I said, well, like, my last ex, we kind of had something similar to that, where like she was my primary girlfriend and I was doing this. She said, yeah, so like, do you actually do that?
Yeah.
It was interesting. So when we were sitting down and drinking tea, that's what, like, when we actually started connecting, I like sat closer to her, like across from her, just like literally just like put my hands like on her lap while we were talking. I was like, oh yeah, my hands are cold. And so it was already on, like I already knew. So
yeah.
Then here's the thing I always do. Like, I was talking about, while we were talking, I was talking about like shit I do, like what I watch. And so
Logan Paul.
Logan Paul. No, I didn't talk about Logan Paul. That probably wouldn't get me laid.
So at the time we recorded this podcast episode, Kevin had an unhealthy obsession with Logan Paul. He used to talk about him, wear his merch, and try to introduce me to his videos. I finally relented when I came to visit Kevin for New Year's, and the first video he showed me Logan Paul's newest video, which was him exploring a forest in Japan where a lot of people commit suicide. And it turns out that was the last video that Logan Paul shot. Even when I was watching it, I was asking Kevin, is this what the typical Logan Paul video was like? Because this is kind of fucked up. And Kevin responded kind of coyly, no, this is definitely not the typical Logan Paul video. But I digress. Let's continue with the story.
So, have you heard of? I think I told you this. I told you this already. Last night's party.
Oh yeah, the weekend.
I love that shit because his videos are so sexual as well.
Yeah, I was just thinking, like, I could just imagine what a buzzkill would have been if you showed her the Logan Paul suicide forest.
Oh man, that'd be weird. That'd be really weird.
She's like, I just kind of want to go home now.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
See you next time. So we go upstairs. I say, yeah, let's go upstairs. Let's go upstairs real quick. I want to show you something. So, I go on my bed. Was it like that? No. I was sitting on the chair. And so she sat on the bed. Then I said, oh yeah, let me show you some videos actually. So I go on the bed, then turn off the lights, and we're kind of like snuggling already, like showing her the video. And it was fucking on, like, pretty set, pretty good.
Yeah.
And then we actually, like, sometimes, you know, whenever after you guys have sex, after the climax is like, oh, okay, I don't know what to do that, like, weird. Not really weird, but you guys just had sex, and you realize that there's actually no chemistry.
You look to your side, you're like, who is this person?
Yeah, you guys just wanted to have sex.
I think Louis C.K. has a bit about that.
It's always an odd moment in a guy's life. The second after you come and you're like, reality comes rushing back. Because you've been pushing reality away in pieces all night to get the, oh, no, it's fine. It's fine. Yeah, no, it doesn't matter. No, I'll just leave my car there. It doesn't matter. I'll just go. No, it doesn't matter. This is weird. Oh, fuck. And then you're just like, you're like the Hulk coming back down to the other guy. My clothes are ripped and there's a dead guy here. I don't know what happened.
It's just like you're not as turned on anymore. You know?
Yeah.
Like, you see the person for what they actually are.
You turn her back to her and start texting, like you're at work.
Yeah.
So after Kevin's date, he actually ended up proposing to her, and they later got married. I'm just kidding. That didn't happen. But they did end up having a good time for the rest of the date. Thank you once again for listening to Asian Tinder Stories, and we'll be coming out with more Tinder stories soon.